Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Verbal Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about why does the menopause make you feel so bad. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. It's certainly true that the menopause can take its toll on us, both emotionally and physically. And the problem is a lot of the symptoms we experience are common ones, but there can be quite a few all happening together. And if we end up experiencing certain emotional symptoms and a small amount of physical symptoms, then that can just compound everything. It can put more pressure on our body and our mind, and we can just end up struggling a little bit more on a daily basis. So I thought today I would go through some common emotional and physical menopause symptoms that can affect other areas of our life as well. So the main physical symptoms, well, we know that hot flushes and night sweats, they're the number one symptom for the majority of women. But the problem is that they can then cause other symptoms to get worse too, because if we're suffering from hot flushes, we're in a lot of discomfort, there's a lot of embarrassment, so both physical and emotional. Night sweats very often will keep us awake, and that will affect our sleep. And this is one of the main symptoms here in the menopause, is poor sleep for whatever reason. You only need one night of bad sleep, and that can have huge repercussions on both your physical and emotional stamina on the next day. And that can then make any other symptoms that you are experiencing feel worse as well. The problem is in the menopause that it's not just one night. I'd speak to so many women and they are struggling with sleep for weeks and weeks and months sometimes. And this can have a huge effect on every single area of our life. We have fatigue, and a lot of women tell me that the fatigue, it feels almost as if they're recovering from a bad dose of the flu. They feel achy, just no energy, no enthusiasm to do anything, and just getting out of bed and getting up can be really, really difficult to get along with. We know too that you can feel just tired every day, not necessarily fatigued, but you can just have very little energy. And this is because all the changes that are going on, if you think about all the hormonal and physical changes that are going on, sometimes our bodies just can't cope with all the extra work that we are expecting it to do here. We have aches and pains. Now, for some women, aches and pains can come and go. It could be things like headaches. It can be muscle aches and pains just appearing out of nowhere. It can be breast pain that can happen roughly on a monthly basis. And these can be difficult enough to deal with. But we can also get joint pain. And this is something we discovered is a very, very common menopause symptoms, and a huge number of women will experience joint pain at some time. And of course, if you've got joint pain, that is going to affect other areas too. It's going to affect your sleep because you're going to be too uncomfortable or sore. It can also make you feel very down, very low, because you can't do things like exercise, or you might not be able to move about as much as you did before. The emotional issues, again, emotional issues sometimes, I know for me, I found they really drained me of energy, probably more than the physical symptoms that I experienced. And we know that if you are under a lot of emotional pressure, that can compound our physical problems too. If we're tired, if we're run down with all the emotional issues that are going on, then it can make it much more difficult for us to cope physically. Emotional symptoms, the main ones in the menopause, will be things like you feel low mood swings, anxiety, anger, irritability, impatience, and being snappy. And very often, a lot of women tell me that they feel so guilty because of their mood swings and maybe being a bit snappy with family and friends. They feel guilty afterwards. That then puts more pressure on them, and they start to feel more guilty, and that just compounds everything. So a lot of these symptoms, they can end up triggering what we would call a vicious cycle of symptoms, emotional issues, then symptoms get worse, and so on. So what can you do in these situations? I've posted a number of blogs on all of these issues on their own. So if you need to go into them in more depth, then just check our video library. But really, in the main things here, loads of water. Dehydration will make every single symptom worse, especially if you're getting flushes and sweats, because that will compound the dehydration. Look at your diet. There is so much research now into the fact that a good diet plays a huge part in how well you can go through the menopause. And it's a good idea every now and again, just go over your diet. I'm the same as everybody. I like to eat healthily, but over time, if I'm busy, if I'm rushed, that incentive to eat healthily can disappear, and I can find myself eating things or drinking things that are not too good for me, and that will then make things worse too. So having a wee check of your diet on a regular basis, just to make sure that you're doing the right things, can sometimes make a huge difference here. Exercise too. Exercise produces happy hormones, happy endorphins that can lift your mood. Doesn't have to be major exercise, and even 15 minutes exercise a day, a brisk walk outside in some fresh air, can lift your mood for quite a while afterwards. Also look at sleep, really important. If your sleep is getting disturbed, then this is something that does really need to be fixed. Our founder, Alfred Vogel, said that sleep was our best medicine, so it's something we really do need to fix if we're not sleeping particularly well. Look at your B-vites, because they're great for strengthening and supporting your nervous system. Magnesium for just about everything. It's one of the best supplements you can take if you only want to take one thing going through the menopause. And remember vitamin D too, because vitamin D will help to support your joints. It will help to support your mood as well. So it's a really important one, especially during the dark winter months. And last but not least, remember that relaxation. It's really important just to allow your body to re-energize and to recharge your batteries. So I hope you found this one helpful. If any of you have any tips that you have found have helped you, then please share them, because I know other people would love to know. So until then, I'll see you next week for another edition of A. Vogel Talks Menopause.